coming up on Network Africa, Chad declares state of emergency in Lake Chad region after Boko Haram attacks. South Africa court rules to revive President Cyril Ramaphosa's impeachment proceedings over cash heist scandal. Nigeria and Thailand deepen relations, partner on Sustainable Agricultural Technology Learning Center. Thank you again for joining us on the program. I'm Joke Rogers here in Lagos. Begin in Chad, where the government has declared a 20-day state of emergency in the violence-hit Lake Chad region following a wave of deadly attacks blamed on Boko Haram terrorists. The decision comes after at least 26 army personnel, including 2 senior generals, were killed in ambushes, triggering nationwide mourning and intensified military operations. Government spokesperson Gassim Sharif and authorities are reviewing the worsening security and humanitarian situation in the region, citing renewed Boko Haram attacks, civilian displacement, and growing threats to people and property. In the meantime, the government is urging officials and security forces to take all necessary measures to ensure safety of residents and their property during the emergency period. President Mahamat Debi hails Nigeria for its support and coordination in ongoing counterterrorism operations. And now to Mali, where more than 30 people have reportedly been killed in attacks on 2 villages in the central region of the country, marking the deadliest assault since armed groups launched a coordinated offensive last month. Local security and administrative sources say jihadists raided the villages of Korikori and Gomosogo in the Mopti region. The Al-Qaeda-linked group JNMIM has claimed responsibility for the assaults. Security sources say the attacks were in retaliation for acts committed by the Dan Nan Ambasogo militia, the best known of the self-defense groups set up by local communities in response to violence plaguing central Mali. The Malian army says it has conducted a targeted operation in the area where about a dozen jihadist fighters were neutralized. 19 Kenyan nationals have been killed and 32 others are still missing following their reported enlistment by Russia to execute the war against Ukraine. Speaking during a Senate committee session, Mr. Mudavadi said the number of Kenyans enlisted in the Russian military has risen to 291 from a previous figure of 250, with 2 held as prisoners of war in Ukraine and 53 others repatriated. The East African country's intelligence services estimates the figure is much higher, saying more than 1,000 Kenyans may have been recruited into the Russian military after being lured with false promises of lucrative jobs. In March, Mr. Mudavadi visited Moscow, where he held talks with top diplomats in a bid to stop the forced conscription of Kenyans into the Russia-Ukraine war. South Africa's Constitutional Court has overturned a parliamentary vote that blocked a move to impeach President Cyril Ramaphosa in 2022 over a cash heist scandal. The court rules that the National Assembly's decision on December 13, 2022 was inconsistent with the Constitution, invalid, and has been set aside. The case stems from legal challenges by opposition parties following the theft of more than $500,000 in cash hidden in a sofa at Mr. Ramaphosa's private game farm in 2020. The incident sparked allegations that the president fails to account for the source of the money, claims he has continuously denied. At the time, the National Assembly, where Mr. Ramaphosa's ruling African National Congress held a majority since lost in the last election, rejected an inquiry panel set up by a report that found he may have a case to answer for misconduct. Meanwhile, leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Julius Malema, has called for the immediate commencement of the impeachment proceedings against the president, following insisting that the parliament move without delay. He notes that the EFF's chief whip is set to formalize a request to the Speaker of the National Assembly to establish an impeachment committee.
Chief whip of the EFF, because she's not here, she should have written by now to the Speaker to establish the impeachment process immediately, because we cannot wait for any longer. We've been waiting for too long now. The impeachment process must kick in with immediate effect, and that's what we're going to demand. And let's see the hand of the DA, which was with us when we were saying let's impeach. Now that they're eating bananas and apples, let's see if they will be able to talk with a full mouth.
Former President of Botswana, Festus Mogae, has died at the age of 86. According to reports, Mr. Mogae, who led Botswana from 1998 to 2008, had been in ill health for some time. In a statement last month, the government said he was receiving medical care at a hospital in the capital without disclosing the nature of his illness. Mr. Mogae, the country's third president, is widely credited with strengthening Botswana's economic management and governance systems during a period of rapid growth driven by diamond revenues. In an address to the nation, current President Duma Boko hailed Mr. Mogae as a leader who stood firmly for discipline, good governance, economic prudence, and the advancement of the nation. He has declared 3 days of national mourning, during which flags will fly at half-mast in honor of the late leader. And here in Nigeria, the federal government and the Kingdom of Thailand are partnering to establish the Thai-Nigeria Sustainable Agricultural Technology Learning Center at the Federal Cooperative College in Oji River, Enugu State. The center, expected to commence operations in July, will focus on the training of Nigerian youths in modern agriculture, improvement of catfish breeding, and aquaculture, promotion of sustainable farming technology, as well as strengthening food security and agricultural development in Nigeria and West Africa.
Great people of Thailand.
A delegation from the Kingdom of Thailand, led by the country's ambassador to Nigeria, Tirapath Mongonavin, is at the Federal Cooperative College, Oji River, Enugu State, to inspect the proposed site for the Thai-Nigeria Sustainable Agricultural Technology Learning Center and engage relevant stakeholders on the preparedness of both the institution and Nigeria for the commencement of the project. The center, which begins operations in the next couple of months, will provide training for youths in modern agricultural practices, improve catfish breeding and aquaculture, promote sustainable farming technology, and strengthen food security and agricultural development across Nigeria and West Africa.
In terms of fisheries and blue economy practices, it is aligning with the national policy on fisheries and aquaculture, which running between 2025 and 2029. It's promoting sustainable aquaculture systems, climate smart practices, and integrated fish production models. Now, in terms of economic growth and job creation, it supports national development plan. Now, in terms of research, training, extension, and integration, it functions as a demonstration farm. It functions as a training hub. It functions as an innovative platform.
The Thai ambassador expresses satisfaction with the level of preparedness and enthusiasm shown by the institution, approving the commencement of the project and describing it as a model for similar initiatives across Nigeria.
This project will be further developed and expanded as a model for other parts of Nigeria, and we can envisage across ECOWAS member states as well. So our visit today aims to conduct a site survey of your college and to explore concrete opportunities for practical cooperation going forward.
Other stakeholders stressed the importance of sustainability and local ownership of the project to ensure long-term benefits.
And the exit strategy, that is very important. We don't want to just put everything here and you give the people or the farmers, but we hope that we have the exit strategies, institutional handovers, commercial transitions, and regional scaling. And hope that here it will be regional hub, and you will scale up for the ownership and make the strong.
After the successful of the implementations of the aquaculture's development and the Thai Corner, we are thinking about expand to cover sustainable agricultures and may include the demonstration plot and of the agriculture machineries. We have the small agriculture machineries that we can provide it for the FCCO in the futures for the next phase.
Another component of the project is the establishment of a Thai Corner, which will house a physical and digital library to provide students access to resources from Kasetat University in Thailand. The delegation also inspects the 22 hectares of land and available water resources designated for the commencement of the project.
In southwest Nigeria, the Lagos state government has intensified its campaign towards malaria elimination with a renewed call for residents to embrace accurate testing before treatment. The State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, says government has also reinforced its test before treatment policy across public and private health facilities, warning residents against self-medication and presumptive treatment without a proper diagnosis.
Malaria is a life-threatening, curable and preventable disease caused by parasites transmitted through the bites of infected female Anopheles mosquitoes. Records from the World Health Organization indicate that in 2024, there was an estimated 282 million malaria cases and 610 malaria deaths in 80 countries. From that figure, Africa accounts for 95% of global malaria cases, while Nigeria alone contributes approximately 27% of the global burden, making the country one of the highest malaria burden nations in the world. In Lagos, the state government is intensifying its campaign towards malaria elimination, which forms the discussion at this symposium organized by the State Ministry of Health to commemorate the 2026 World Malaria Day at the Adeyemi Bero Auditorium with the theme, Driven to End Malaria, Now We Can, Now We Must.
Our approach is multi-pronged and evidence-driven, focusing on prevention through vector-controlled interventions such as environmental management, ensuring universal access to prompt and free diagnosis.
In Lagos State, we are no longer just managing malaria, we are deliberately deploying data, digital innovation, and strategic partnerships to eliminate it.
The Lagos state government is pushing for a malaria-free society through a strategy of test, treat, and track, supported by the WHO and its partners.
No longer will treatment rely on assumptions. Every suspected case will be confirmed properly and documented accordingly. Currently, malaria prevalence in Lagos State is 2.6%, a remarkable milestone for a state of this size and complexity.
The World Health Organization reaffirms its commitment to support Lagos State in scaling up intervention, building resilient systems, and ensuring that no one is left behind.
What remains is the urgency, commitment, and collective determination to finish the job.
The State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, says Lagos State remains below 2% in recent years, despite being surrounded by water bodies and coastal environment, and the effort to eliminate the disease continues.
In Lagos, it's very hard for a mosquito, a female mosquito, Anopheles, to find somebody with malaria because our malaria prevalence has gone down to about less than 2%. Ask for the evidence of your test. Let them show it to you. Let them demonstrate to you that you are positive or that you are negative.
The symposium ends with a strong collective resolve among government officials and healthcare professionals to sustain investment, strengthen surveillance, deepen community engagement, and accelerate coordinated action towards achieving a malaria-free Lagos state.
And still to come on the program. We move from agriculture to tech. A Ghanaian agri-tech startup unveils AI-powered farming robots to boost precision agriculture and productivity. Welcome back. Concerns are growing over gender inequality in governance in Nigeria, where women remain significantly underrepresented in political leadership. Despite making up nearly half the population, structural barriers, violence, and even financial constraints continue to limit women's participation. A 2025 global ranking places Nigeria near the bottom, 178 out of 182 countries, highlighting the widening gender gap. Advocates are now calling for urgent reforms, including enforcing the 35% representation target under the National Gender Policy. Trailblazers like Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and former Vice President of the World Bank, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, are being cited as proof of women's leadership potential. Organizers of a national summit say inclusive governance is not optional. It's critical for sustainable development. Our Washington correspondent, Maria Bird, had a chat with coordinator of Women Empowerment for the Africa Faith and Justice Network ahead of their summit in Nigeria this week.
Sister Bernadette, we thank you for joining us. We know that this is a busy time as you all are actively preparing for your event on May 4th through the 6th. We know there's a call to action. We know that there are only 4 women in Nigerian Senate, and the call around providing at least getting to the 25-35%, and the hope for one day getting to 50% of women in Nigerian leadership within the Senate. Tell us what the hopes are for the outcome of the event. What do you hope happens as a result of this summit from May 4th through the 6th?
Thank you very much, Maria, and thank you to Eucharia for what you said. We are expecting that political parties will grant access to women candidacy and create a platform for women to participate meaningfully. It's not just talking, but they will practically create platform for women to come in because we trust them. And as Eucharia said, it's not just about women for women, but women for the nation. And we are convinced, and we have evidence that when women are involved in politics, and they work side by side with men, great things happen, as we've seen in other countries. So we hope that parties will launch awareness campaigns to address gender stereotypes and promote the benefits of inclusive government. See that it is about us. It's not about women for women. Yes, women for the nation. And we also hope that to address the 2026 electoral acts, which have any acts that has adverse impacts on women or to hinder women, and that the media will create outlets to promote ways women can actually contribute to the overall development of the nation. Am I gone? So, on the overall, we hope that a creative environment will be provided that will enhance women's ability, their effort, their energy to be invested in promoting national development. And women know how it feels when people are hungry, when people are deprived, because that's their God-given talents too, that they will be able to invest that, working with men to bring about a national development.
You know, those are key pieces here. This is not just about women advocacy. This is about everyone, women, men. But as we think about the next generation and the after of this summit, what are you looking for young women, and what opportunities are you hoping that young women have to learn more about their role in politics in the country, and specifically around their place in politics in the country? Sister Bernadette?
Okay, Miss.
What are you hoping that young women are able to get out of this summit, and what do you hope that they look forward to, and how they take their place in politics moving forward?
Yeah, one of it is that young women will feel and accept the fact that they belong and that they have done something to contribute. It's not out of pity. It's a rights that are enshrined in the Constitution, an invitation to exercise that right. And when they do it now, even the daughters coming know that politics is for men and women, that women are not spectators. Women have something to contribute. And there are women that are capable and able. And we hope this will let them know that they're encouraged to stand up and register. But we know that there are things that will hinder them. When registration fee is going to be very high, will that put women down? That such a thing should be addressed. You know what I mean? When registration to the party politics, you have to pay so much million to register. So young ladies will wonder where will they get that money from. So this is where we are calling on government to put a control on the demands of fee for registration.
Well, Sister Bernadette, we hear the call to action. We hear the need for diversity. Sounds like you're going to have a wonderful May 4th through 6th event calling to action for more women in politics. So we thank you so much for joining us. We thank you for your time, and we thank you for your advocacy.
Thank you, Maria.
In our Africa Tech segment this week, Ghanaian agri-tech startup 3FarmMate has unveiled Farmer, a fully autonomous AI-powered farming robot aimed at boosting precision agriculture and productivity. According to 3FarmGate CEO Clinton Anani, the robot is built to operate in challenging terrain without relying on GPS, making it suitable for remote areas.
Problem in Ghana here, especially in the food sector, is incredibly unique. We have problems across signal integrity, we have problems across land preparations, and so all those factors made us settle on the solution that we had to build something that could work for our environments, and that meant building a solution that did not require GPS, which is the common practice for most farming robots, just so we can deploy in, say, Ada in the eastern region or in Tamale in the northern region, without having to worry so much about whether or not GPS signal is available. GPS makes it much, much easier to build a robot that can move on its own. But it's expensive to use when you want to build precision robots, and its availability, especially in this part of the world, isn't as ubiquitous as we would want to make the robots self-drive in the way that we want them to.
It's efficiency that we need. And with efficiency, we cannot keep on doing our normal whole cutlass, arrangements. And if you go to advanced countries, it's technologies, machines, it's, AI and so on and so forth. And so for a group of young Ghanaians to create something like this, I mean, it's extraordinary. It's something that is good. It's something that we need to encourage them. It's something that, the government will definitely be behind them to hopefully mass produce, through certain R&Ds.
Something like this will help us reduce the cost of labor. It will reduce the cost of labor for we, the farmers. because one of the biggest challenge that we farmers faced has to do with labor for planting. You know, when you have to do farming, apart from preparation of the land, the most important thing that you have to do as a farmer is the issue of the planting. If you're able to get your planting right, you get everything right.
That's Network Africa. Thank you for watching. I'm Joker Rogers.